My name is Tony Garcia. I'm 39 years old. I'm a musician. I'm homeless. My background is Italian, Cuban, and Jewish. Living in the city of Toronto. It's a great city. It's a great people. There's a lot of homelessness, and there's a lot of issues to deal with. What's happening with the homeless situation here in Toronto and Ontario, and across the country, Canada. I've been homeless technically since 1999. This is about 21 years, 21 and a half years. Some of the biggest barriers I face as being a homeless person, and most homeless people have the same problems, is they don't have adequate resources to help them. They don't have a proper place to sleep. They don't have proper food. They don't have agencies and organizations helping them to do a resume, to get a job interview, to get clothing, to get business training, to do an interview. And they're completely displaced from the working class society. So they need a lot of organizations and a lot of people to help them to break that transition from being financially displaced and trying to get back into the financial system. The biggest struggle is night after night and week after week and month after month, you don't have a place to sleep every night. You don't know where you're sleeping from Monday night to Tuesday night, from Wednesday to Thursday night. You don't know where you're going to go. You might be in a shelter. You might be kicked out of the shelter. You might end up in a police station. You might end up in the bus station. You might end up sleeping in a public bench. How can you prepare yourself for a job interview or a job if you don't know where you're going from one day to the next? It's very difficult. I need housing very bad. I have colorectal cancer. If it wasn't for my friend Marcel, I would have been dead last summer or the summer before. Okay, because it's spreading. I'm in the washroom 2 hours, bleeding. The doctor told me once you start to bleed, you're not going to live too long. I need a place to sleep and take my medication. I need a place to, my immune system is shutting down. I used to be 210, 15 pounds before. Now I'm 145 pounds. I can't keep losing red blood cells and muscle tissue. I will die. The doctor told me you will die and you'll have to go through surgery to remove your large intestine. I have applied since 2004 with Housing Connections. They have repeatedly ignored me and left me to die. I have applied in 2001 to Peel Housing in Brampton and Mississauga. They have repeatedly ignored my request to have a bachelor apartment, and they have left me to die. It's a sad thing. Even every morning I wake up, a friend of mine told me, you need an ombudsman, you need a member of parliament, you need a social worker, you need a housing worker to vouch for you. You have no connections. They're not going to help you. You'll probably end up dead. The shelter experience, it's not a nice experience. You're meeting a lot of criminals. You're meeting a lot of drug addicts. You're meeting a lot of jailbirds. You can't sleep properly because people are doing drugs at night. You don't live a very proper life. You're like on the edge every hour on the hour. The food isn't so good. I got poisoned, by the way. I have colorectal cancer, stomach cancer, because of an individual that put poison in my food. So the shelter system is not an easy system because they can discharge you any moment at any time for anything. You don't have much rights. And it's a crowded situation where your bed is like less than 3 feet away. But now with the corona, it's like 6 feet. But the thing is, you don't have much human rights when you're in a shelter system. and you have to get up early in the morning. You have to get up like 6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're out. And you have to be in by curfew time. If you're not in by curfew, they kick you out and you're back on the street again. It is good to have shelters because people don't have place to go. It's giving them a place to sleep, a place to have food, and a place to find a job. They need more shelters actually in the I would say in Canada they need more beds because there's more and more homeless happening in this country because of, and right across the world, because of the economic situation that we're facing in these modern times. We're looking at 6 or 7 months of deep cold, and if you do not have a place to go in those 6 or 7 months, from October 31st to end of April, if you do not have a stable place to sleep and have food and have medication, you will die. And the system doesn't care. The government decided to cut the Out of the Cold program. Thousands and thousands of Canadians will die in Toronto and across the country by cutting. The government cuts. People, this is not the time to do this government cuts. From October 31st to the end of April, it's the worst time to cut on poor people. People who are working less than $14 an hour. People who are financially displaced and homeless. Single women who have children. Single men who have no money, who have no family. This is the worst time to do the government cuts. They will die. Over 15 and 20 of my friends have died in the city of Toronto and across the country because the government have cut on shelters. They have cut on the food programs. The food programs, they have cut them. They have cut services in drop-ins. People cannot survive if they don't have food and if they don't have a place to sleep. They have millions of churches. Toronto has many, many churches. Many, many churches. Catholic, Anglican, Lutheran, Protestant. Open up the churches. Let the government give those churches money. Bring the people in. Let them sleep on the pews. Open up the Fort York Armories. Open up warehouses. Open up Metro Hall. Bring the people in from the cold. Or else the paramedics and the system is just going to be pulling dead bodies, body after body. And don't put it a coronavirus thing. Don't add and say they might say, oh, it's just a coronavirus death. They have to stop this. I am a Christian and I believe in helping everybody, and I don't discriminate against any other religion, whether you're Muslim or Hindu or Jewish, or even if you're an atheist. Everybody deserves a place to live, food, education, and a job. We're not in the Middle Ages. The government, Trudeau, I don't say his name. Trudeau has to realize, yes, it's nice to have money, but also you have to share and help people who are less unfortunate, especially the lowest income people, homeless people, and people who are economically marginalized, who work for $14 an hour. It's not enough to feed their children, it's not enough to pay rent, and it's not enough to pay transportation.